When we dive into ancient history, it feels like it's almost always about kings, massive wars, and royal decrees, right? We rarely hear about the everyday people. But there's this 1,550-year-old monument, specifically a stone record known as the Mandsaur Inscription, that completely shatters that narrative. It's essentially a voice straight from the past, detailing the construction of a magnificent sun temple. And get this, it wasn't built by royalty at all, but by ordinary working people. Just picture India 1.5 millennia ago. We're talking no modern machines, no electricity, absolutely no multinational corporations. And yet, this spectacularly wealthy organization somehow managed to build a truly grand monument. No emperor forced a tax for it, and it definitely wasn't funded by plundered war loot. So it really begs the question, if not a king, who on earth built this temple in 473 CE? The answer: silk weavers. Yes, ordinary silk weavers. People whose entire profession was literally just weaving threads managed to make history. And no, this isn't some local myth. It's a documented historical fact immortalized right there in stone. It's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Finding out that a group of working-class craftsmen could leave such a massive, enduring mark on ancient India.
Section 1. Grand Temple Built Without Kings. The Mystery of the Mandsaur Inscription.
Okay, let's set the stage a bit. From the 4th to the 6th century, India was under the rule of the Gupta emperors. We universally refer to this as India's Golden Age. And it wasn't just because of military or political might, it was this incredible era of explosive advancement. You had Aryabhata making huge leaps in math and astronomy, Kalidasa elevating literature to new heights, and global trade was just booming. Right in the middle of all this electric energy, in 473 CE, the poet Vatsavati composed our famous inscription. Section 2, Dashapur, an ancient economic engine, the bustling trade hub. Today, the city of Dashapur is known as Mandsaur, but back in the day, it was the ultimate crossroads. Honestly, think of it like an ancient Manhattan or Dubai. Silk, spices, ivory, precious stones, metals, textiles, you name it. Just imagine the sheer chaotic energy of the place. Camel caravans, merchants haggling on horseback, massive fortunes changing hands every single day across trade routes that connected the entire subcontinent.
Now, what's really interesting about this part of the story is how deeply relatable it is today. The inscription actually tells us these weavers originally came from Lata, which is modern-day South Gujarat. And why did they pack up and leave? For the exact same reason people today move to Silicon Valley or any global tech hub. They were chasing better economic opportunities. It's literal proof of ancient labor mobility, skilled workers migrating hundreds of miles for a better paycheck over 1,000 years ago.
Now, you're probably wondering, how could mere weavers become wealthy enough to build a giant temple? Well, we have to look at what silk actually meant back then. It was the ultimate symbol of luxury, prestige, and high status. It was worn by royals and the ultra-wealthy. Because processing, dyeing, and weaving silk required immense, specialized technical skill, these weavers weren't just everyday artisans. They were highly sought-after, very well-paid technical experts. Section 3. Shreni. Ancient corporates and banks. The power of organized labor. Okay, let's dive into this. A Shreni was an ancient Indian professional organization made up of people working in the exact same trade. But it was so much more than just a simple guild. It acted as a corporate, judicial, and even a financial body. These were highly disciplined, incredibly organized groups that wielded some serious influence in society. When you map the ancient Shrenis onto our modern world, it is absolutely mind-blowing. They protected their members just like a modern trade union. They set strict quality rules like a chamber of commerce, and they even settled internal disputes like a court of law. But here is the craziest part. Many Shrenis acted exactly like banks. They took deposits, issued loans with interest, and then used those funds to pay for major public works. Their economic management was just remarkably advanced.
Section 4. Weavers' Sun Temple and Restoration. A legacy etched in stone.
So these weavers make a collective decision to take a portion of their vast wealth and build this magnificent temple. But out of all the deities, all the possible monuments, why did they choose to dedicate their wealth specifically to the sun god? Well, during the Gupta era, sun worship was exceptionally popular, and for a very good reason. The sun represented the absolute foundation of existence: life, agriculture, energy, health, prosperity, and truth. So building this temple wasn't just a religious act for them, it was a profound symbol of civic development.
They were taking their hard-earned wealth and investing it right back into the ultimate source of life for their thriving, growing city. And this brilliantly illustrates what is probably the most inspiring part of the inscription. So they fund and build this grand sun temple. Most groups would pat themselves on the back and stop right there, right? But time inevitably passes, and the temple eventually suffers damage. Well, instead of letting it fall into ruin, that exact same guild stepped up yet again. They dipped right back into their own funds to completely pay for its restoration. What we are looking at is an incredible ancient example of heritage conservation. This act shows such an advanced sense of civic duty. It proves they didn't just want the initial glory of slapping their name on a shiny new building. They actually had a conscious, deep-rooted desire to preserve their culture for future generations. They understood that maintaining infrastructure is just as crucial as building it in the first place. Section 5. Ancient lesson for the modern world. What the Mandsaur inscription teaches us today. Today, we totally expect massive corporations to build schools or fund hospitals through what we call corporate social responsibility, or CSR. But these ancient silk weavers of Dashapura, they were doing exactly this over 15 centuries ago. The foundational philosophy is literally identical. Society is what allowed us to become prosperous. Therefore, it is our fundamental duty to give back to it.
So, to wrap this up, the Mandsaur inscription isn't just an old rock. It's this incredibly rare window into ancient economics that gives us some truly timeless advice. First, your skill is your true capital. Second, organized teamwork achieves massive goals. I mean, a single weaver is just an artisan, but a Shreni, that's a financial powerhouse. Third, wealth must be used to benefit the society that helped generate it. And finally, preserving heritage is the duty of every single generation.
Kings build empires, but ordinary people shape culture. These silk weavers didn't conquer lands, they didn't win brutal wars, but through unmatched skill and an incredible commitment to their community, they built a monument that outlasted the very empires that ruled over them. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With all the incredible wealth and technology we have at our fingertips today, what kind of legacy are our modern Shrenis building for the people who will look back at us 1,000 years from now?